Hello 2025, and of course everyone else. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I'm a digital artist. Now, I have a question for all of you. What are your goals for this year? Since it's the new year, it's nice to think about all the things that we want to do or accomplish in the upcoming year, or things we wish we could have done the year prior, but sadly we couldn't get to it. Now, I have to admit, year after year, I try to write down at least 3 things that I want to accomplish, but to be honest, I never do them at all. This year, instead of calling what I want to do as resolutions, I think calling them goals will be better for accomplishing them. It's a lot easier to think of things as smaller goals to a bigger resolution at the end, don't you think? So, while my latest painting is playing in the background, I thought it would be a perfect time to share some of my goals for this coming year. Please sit back, relax, and I hope that you enjoy this video. See you at the end! Let me take you back to around October when for some reason my brain decided to start thinking about the new year. I suppose one of the reasons why I started thinking extra early about what I wanted to accomplish this year is because I had 2 different rounds of burnout in 2024 and didn't feel like I accomplished as much as I wanted to. While thinking, I ended up going back to what I always wanted to do, and that is to be active on social media and across the multiple platforms that I have, such as Instagram, TikTok, Kara, Threads, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and even here on YouTube. However, I ran into a big problem, and that's a whole lot of platforms to keep track of. So I've decided to limit myself to being active on 4 major platforms since I feel that I can manage these at the moment. Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube are the sites I visit the most on a day-to-day basis, so I feel like looking into how to grow as an artist on these 4 platforms will be the best choice going forward, while the others I'll update periodically. On Instagram, I want to go back to showing more of my picture post. I actually wasn't going to do that and stick to Reels, but I miss seeing my artwork gracing my Instagram profile, so I'll go back to sharing picture posts as well. Now that TikTok was banned and came back, but could also be banned again, I think. One of my main goals was actually to go live on TikTok at least one time. I found out last year that I'm able to go live on TikTok. I might have to check that, especially after what's been going on. But if it's possible, I would love to give it a try. As for Threads, that is my home for sharing work-in-progress pictures and state what I've been up to and what's on my mind. So I want to be more active on Threads like I was earlier in 2024, but for some reason I just stopped updating it as much. So this year I want to be more active on Threads. Plus, it's always fun to talk to everyone one-on-one or do kind of like the main post and everyone's commenting and sharing and getting to know each other. I really like that about Threads. Finally, on YouTube, I want to do longer formatted videos. This is actually what I wanted to do from the very beginning of my art journey, to share recordings of my videos, put out tutorials, or whatever I could do to help others or share how I create my artwork. I know in the beginning of my art journey, I went to YouTube the most for inspiration and to learn, so I want to give back to the place that made me fall in love with art time and time again. It'll take a bit of time to get used to recording, editing, writing the scripts for these videos until I get the hang of it, but I'm looking forward to this next step, so you'll be seeing a lot more of me on here. Another goal of mine is to start painting in a more relaxed fashion. As much as I absolutely love the painting that you're currently watching, this took me 50 hours to paint. In my defense, I was sick while I was working on it, so I was a bit slower on a few things and did have to backtrack on a few others, but 50 hours is way too long to work on a painting. Now, what this more relaxed style of painting will look like, I'm not entirely sure. Lately, I've been getting a lot of inspiration from artists such as Guez, Devin L. Kurtz, and so many Chinese and Japanese artists on Twitter. I've loved all of their work for a long time, but the style I was going for was more semi-realistic, since my main inspirations were Sakimi-chan, Anna Dittman, and Melanie Delon. Now, I would like to find an in-between style between what I've loved for so long and the artist I'm gaining inspiration from. Again, what this will look like, I'm not quite sure, but I can't wait to experiment this coming year. Also, any and all of the artists, aside from the ones on Twitter that I've mentioned, I will link their Instagram profiles in the description, so if you want to check out their work, be my guest. I also know my back and my hands will thank me later in the long run, which is something else I want to set as a goal this year, and that is prioritizing physical and mental health. Last year, like I stated, I went through 2 different times of burnout. I want to prevent this from happening as much this year. I know I can't prevent everything, but keeping my mental and physical health in check is going to be the number one thing for me, so I don't experience burnout again. That includes drinking more water, taking breaks from sitting for so long, because I can sit for about 5 hours and not move when I'm really getting into a painting. So I actually think I'm going to start setting little timers on my phone that remind me, hey, you need to get up and actually stretch. Otherwise, you're going to be moaning and groaning because you literally turned into the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. So I really need to focus on taking breaks, exercising, getting fresh air. Probably not as much in the spring and summer. I have allergies, but getting some kind of fresh air. And I want to do a lot more of the things that are outside of the art sphere, which is playing video games, especially the ones on my iPad, Love in Deep Space, Honkai Star Rail. I got into June's Journey. I also play Mahjong for relaxation purposes, so I really think I'm going to do more of that this year. And also watching anime, because I am very far behind in so many of the series that I love. And I've also been getting into Chinese fantasy shows, dramas, whatever you want to call it, TV series, and I think I might stick to it for this year. They're actually pretty good. And I also want to be sure that I make time to do all of this, including artwork, without experience any kind of burnout. Because last year I prioritized artwork and didn't do the things that I like to kind of prevent that burnout. So I'm hoping that this year I can find that happy balance between the two, my hobbies and painting, so that I don't experience burnout and I don't wait until I burn out to do all the things that I wanted to do, which I should have done anyway. Finally, I want to start painting more pieces that have a storytelling feeling to them. This will include getting better at lighting, expressions, body language, and creating scenes, but I am excited about doing more pieces like this. I dabbled in them a little, but I know I can do a lot better, so this year I want to practice and do at least one completed piece that kind of tells a story. This comes again from being inspired by artists like Guez, and even, oh my gosh, I do not know how to say this artist's name, so I'm just going to put it up on the screen. I do apologize. But this artist right here. And I've been loving their artwork for so long. I remember when Guez just kind of started to pop up and everyone was talking about him, and ever since then I've just loved his artwork. And I want to try practicing storytelling too, and it's something that I've actually wanted to do with my artwork, but I've always stuck to what I was good at, which is just kind of like portraits and drawing fan art, and I want to step outside of my comfort zone this year. Now, there is a lot to learn, but I hope that I can study not only their work, but learn from a lot more people and figure out exactly how I myself want to tell stories through my artwork. In 2025, there is a lot that I want to do, but at the end of the day, being able to create art and share it with you guys is always going to be my main goal and the end goal. I hope to see you guys in future videos. If you have any suggestions on video content you'd like to see from me, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see. And so I'll end this video with the same question that I asked you in the beginning. What are your goals for 2025?